If you really want to step up your finishing game, one of the things you'll need to learn how to do is to tape a fingerboard correctly. Now, taping off a fingerboard may seem like an easy proposition, but if you don't do it right, you're going to have problems when you go to put the guitar together, because what happens is finish, as you apply, particularly film forming finishes like lacquer, shellac, water base, and then the one I use, which is 2-component urethane, builds up at the edges here underneath the tape, and you have a problem because it tends to chip off when you go to scrape it later. If you want a really good fingerboard finish, tape it this way. Take your tape and apply it this way. Don't apply it this way, because if you apply it this way, what happens is finish gets underneath the edge. When you're done, you might have some little ruffles, I call them, of tape here at the edges. So take some 240 grit sandpaper and a hard piece of wood and sand the edge of that tape off. And then when you go to apply your finish and then you remove the tape, you'll have a nice clean edge. Here's a close-up of what I'm talking about. Note the nice clean edge after sanding that's left right here. And then also notice that I put tape around the nut slot to keep the nut slot from getting too much finish in it and affecting the nut setup when I do it later. I also sand very lightly across the top here and around the edges here. And of course, once you're done taping this way, don't forget to tape this way so that you protect the frets during the finishing process. When you take a little bit of extra time and care in taping off the fretboard properly before finishing, the real payoff is after finishing, when you attach the neck to the guitar and do the final dressing of the frets. The fretboard has a nice feel to it, and it has a nice, clean, sharp edge where the finished part meets the top of the unfinished fretboard. Let's get in a little bit closer and show you what I'm talking about. See how the finished edge of the fingerboard, where it meets the top of the unfinished fingerboard, has a nice, clean, straight edge. There's no dips, no bumps, no valleys, no chips, just a nice, clean, straight edge. Now, when I'm doing the final dressing, I do roll the edge, the sharp edge of the fingerboard, just a bit so it mitigates any problems that you might have, such as small little chips or whatever. But it also makes the fingerboard play and feel a lot better when the player picks up the instrument. Finally, as we get up towards the end, you'll see how the nut is seated really nicely in that slot.